nothing.
Yeah. All or nothing. Yes.
That's good.
That is awesome. All or nothing. That is perfect. Yep.
So for you guys, if I don't talk much, I've these last 2 days I've been traveling with big bosses. I'm exhausted.
Yeah. How's that going?
It's going okay.
Okay. Good. Yeah.
I drove in the car at least 6 hours today. So
That's kind of torture to have to go with your boss for 6 hours in a car.
Yeah, actually we're in separate cars. These were national.
Oh, that's much better.
Yeah, but it's a lot of driving. It was a lot of driving.
Yeah,
today,
you don't have to banter. It's kind of terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. But,
if you're locked up with your commander in a place where you have to be private sooner or later, it can be very awkward with your boss.
Got through it though, but just stumpy.
Yeah.
Well,
I can say that now because I've been a civilian for 10 years. I can say that now.
I sent you both the picture that I'm working on for trying to talk to the artist to get for to Silnson.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Ooh, that is good. That is great.
Love DeviantArt.
Yep.
That's where I find most of the artists, even back in the day when I was doing the web.
Hey, Patrick, can you hear us? I spelled check wrong. Jeez. Sound check. Sound check.
I think they understand. Yep.
Awesome.
Good. Yep.
Always got to do that sound check.
Yep. That's very good.
All right.
Everything up here. So, yep.
Make sure I got all this done. Did that done. That done. That done. That done. Boom. All right. I feel we're good. Mortal Crux, Nicole, good evening, both of you. Getting rolling here. Starting off another week. But did we really, I mean, we had like one stream last week, right? If you count Sunday night, right, Anna?
Yeah, well, I had 3.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I covered for you.
Who was the third? Oh, you mean
Well,
you had 2 Fridays?
No, I had 2 live streams. Yeah, we had Gavin, and I had 2 live streams.
Oh,
One
okay.
by myself and one with Alyssa Payton.
Okay.
Yep.
That's right. Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
I had, yeah,
Nice. I thought they were both on Fridays, and I was like, oh no, we had the fantasy mapping show the Friday before I left, so.
Oh yeah, and then I had my first Twitch live stream on Wednesday, but normally, yeah, like a week.
Thanks for the raid, Skygath. Dice Corner. Just getting started here.
Hello, everybody.
I may mute my sound for a second. All right. Just mine. Yeah, not everyone's.
Okay, now we have to cover for it. Yep.
Oh, that's fine.
Yep.
I do have to ask you that if you still have a copy of just the area of Vale of the Mage or the map, because I'm gonna have to put that into that
I
PDF.
can make you. I'll can cut it out for you and save it. So give me. I'll do that during the show here. So I just need to open the Illustrator and then export.
Hello, Blue Box.
Hello. Oh damn! I forgot to tune into Blue Box. Yep.
That's okay. They came to you.
Oh yeah, they came here now. But damn, it was probably something really interesting that I forgot. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
you
Okay.
can.
China Blue Box rating in too. Hello, hello,
Yeah.
hello. As we're getting started here. Hello, hello, hello. Got us on preludes here, everyone. But that's okay. As we're rocking and rolling here. So I really appreciate it, John. Thanks. So get some other stuff. What's up, Mymorph, Biggie, Admiral, Mr. Little Unicorn, Fraley, Scott, and Kung Fu. Truck still hasn't given me the code yet from Sunday, so I get to beat him with a stick or something. Yeah, he hasn't given me the code yet, so please sit tight. Hey, Necromantic DM, good to see you too. Good to see everyone. We're gonna have a great. Thanks, John. We're gonna have a great discussion tonight. It's gonna be fun. So we still, I'll come on a little early. Oh, I said it's been a long work week already, but I'm not complaining. I never complain. Yes, if Scott, if you see Chuck around, you can bust his stones for me. Tomorrow night, by the way, is a merged group because I had some of my guys out. So I got Bones, Mike Disney, and Darling playing with some of my players tomorrow night. Boy, that's going to be a blast. Look at that, we already hype trained. Holy jeez, everyone. All right, let me get on here as quickly as possible. We'll blast through all this. That's very kind of you all.
We're level 2 hype train.
Yeah. It's awesome. You're all fantastic. Thank you. See, I'm gonna punish Chuck now. We got Troller Games on. There goes his head. I'm kidding. Well, actually not. We'll start it up. Look, we're 10 minutes early.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Level 2. If for some, let's see, how far should I push the carry? If we surpass level 3, then I'll do a second giveaway tonight. How's that sound? I already got one real good one. Wait till you see what I got. Something we'll be talking about tonight, which is cool. I'm just trying to find all my stuff here. Too many piles. Too much stuff. What's up? Diner, Wandering, Tiborius. Oh my gosh. Boom. All right, tonight, Legends and Lore, number 157. You ever wondered what the hell is going on in the Vale of the Mage? Well, I guess we're going to find out tonight, right? One way or another. We're going to discuss the Valley of the Mage tonight. What's up, Tim? Yeah, the ever mysterious Tim is set to play tomorrow night, too. With his character Finder, or Trap Finder, I call him, or Trap Setter. Because he always sets traps off on himself, right, Tim? I know he's going to argue with me now. No, you just do that on purpose. He's not wrong. Oh, maybe. There you go. You should Tim argues with me.
That's nice.
And then Tim's DMing Saturday morning. Tim's DMing Saturday morning for us. That's going to be a great week. Oh, okay. Joe, 1-5. What a bizarre amount that was there, Wayne. 1534. It doesn't say at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. His game is Saturday. 9 to 2. Hard stop on 2. Yep. That was really good. Yeah. Almost there. All right, here we come. We're coming live. We are 7 minutes early, but who cares? Who cares tonight? Only Gary Julian will complain.
I'm staying out of that.
You're too early. You're on. I am on fumes, everyone. That's awesome. Thanks. Thank you all so very much. Neutral. True neutral. Not here. No, not here. But I'm not chaotic stupid. I don't know what I am right now. I'm tired. I always said I'm Walt tired tonight. So good evening, everyone. I'm J.K. Lord Gazumba. With me is, as always, is the great Anna Meyer. Now, note, we've started on the weeks where Mike is off every other week. We're going to try and fill them with very special guests. So our first big one, you may know, and I'll let him introduce himself. But you and Rick Miller or Duicarthan. And Rick, why don't you? I know we got a lot of people who probably don't know your accomplishments here. Why don't you talk about yourself a little bit, and welcome back. Thank you.
Well, thank you. If you've ever read the Elworth Journal, you've run into me one way or the other. So I've been online doing Greyhawk stuff probably since the 90s. I've done the Antaria, the Lost Continent, which was actually a Beyond the Flanias project all the way back in like 95. I think I first posted it 95, 97. So, but that's been online for a very long time. I've been in Dragon Magazine. 357, I did an article on Wizards, and then 359, I did Treasures of Greyhawk with Gary Holian.
Yeah, it's a fantastic article. In fact, during a fundraiser, I used a lot of those items, and also the time I used also the, Dragonborn too, and everyone complains about that, but that's okay. So yeah, Rick's got a lot of accomplishments. What numbers of Earth Journal were you the editor of?
17 through 27, if I'm correct.
Okay.
Just off the top of my head.
That's a lot. 17 through 27. So very, very cool. So Rick has a lot of great things. And last time he was on, we had him on mainly, we talked about, was it Antaria?
Antaria was a couple of things.
Yeah, and we went over your continent, and we just touched this Veil the Mage information. We really just showed what you had done, but we didn't really go into depth on it. And this is probably one of the areas of Greyhawk that, like, everyone's like, what the heck is going on? You know, why, where, you know, a lot of there's so much question out there, intent, data. So we're just going to try and help you out with this. Now, the one thing I forgot, of course, I forgot my Greyhawk Adventures book. I left that downstairs because explain. All right. So Rick, start at the beginning where Jaren / Jason Crimea, right? And like back in the beginning. We're talking the very, very beginning, the Darlene map. What was going on? Oh wow, Fuzz, thanks. All right, so we got a double giveaway. So as you're talking, I'll pop that up. So
Veil of the Mage is just it's always been one of those mysterious areas within the Flanias. It's just one of those areas that they never really developed that well. I don't know if it was because it was somebody else's player that did something in that area or what happened exactly with it. But it ended up just being this area that has this level of mystery and mysticism to it. It's populated by the Valley Elves, which have been there for centuries. Some people speculate it's because of a division that the Valley Elves did not join them when they were fighting
Drow.
No, actually, they're not even Drow.
No, when they were fighting Drow in the early days, or when they were fighting the giants.
Well, some people have said Drow. Some people have said the Queen of Chaos.
Okay.
So there's various different things going on there. So
you're surmising that it's one of these, like Ghost Tower of Inverness was, or Tomoacon was, other person's campaigns that they added to the map, but you're not sure what happened at that point. Is that what you're thinking? They just left it?
I'm just wondering if that's what happened. It's an area that started getting development from that somebody else had, and then just all of a sudden stopped. Because the main character, Jiran Crimea, originally comes from the Great Kingdom.
Yeah. But when's he first mentioned? He's not mentioned in the 80 glossography by name. Once again, there's just there's a reclusive wizard there, right? And there's no data on him. I know he's in Greyhawk Adventures. I think he's in the 83 box set too.
Yeah, and he was in the hardback for sure. I remember that.
Yeah.
that hardback, that's when I saw him, and I just latched right on, and I'm like, that is an area that'll be fun.
Okay. So thank you all. You guys crushed it, guys and gals. So tonight, once again, you get your choice of one of these two. We'll do 2 sets of these, right? The first winner, though, as long as you don't have it, reprint Veil the Mage. Okay, so you will get this. I only have one of those, unfortunately. And then the second one, you get your choice, one of those 2 books. And then I got Veiled Society, Cold the Reptile God. I got a couple others. So we'll do two sets. But the first winner will get the Veil of the Mage, one, and one of the Treasures of Greyhawk or The Adventure Begins. So, yes, I was saving it for this. So, yeah, we have that, and which is really cool. And courtesy of Patrick. Thank you so very much. All right, so thoughts on Jaron Crimea, who's mentioned in the early days as Jason Crimea, and then they changed his name to Jaron afterwards, correct? I think he was Jason first.
He was Sharon first.
Sharon first, okay.
He was Sharon first, and then it was that module that's actually on the picture right there right now that he got changed to Jason, and there's a lot of people who just don't like that.
So he's reason. Jason in here.
Only there.
Only here, but
it sounds like a spell checker that someone didn't keep a tab on or something like that.
That's wow. Hey, Vancouver.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob. Rob, hopefully I saw you on. I'm glad to see that. Hopefully you're doing better. I know you had a rough week last week, but that's great to see you back in the swing. Wow, I did not know that. So it's kind of like, I'll give you an example. If you look on Darlene's map, and I caught this a couple months ago. He talks in the books about Warwell, and then you go to it's always been Narwhal, but if you go to the map that Darlene did, it looks like a W. And I think Gygax made a mistake when he was writing his books and put down Warwell instead. So you think that is just a simple typeset error and it went to Jason? That's very possible, Anna.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's some mistake like that, and since it was a perfectly legit word, it passed editing. Yeah.
Wow.
I wouldn't be surprised because the editor wouldn't react to something that looks perfectly normal, and it's a perfect normal word, so to speak.
So what do you think, Rick?
I think it either could be an editorial error, or it could be that the author just looked at it and somebody typoed it to her, and then she just put it in there, and then nobody else followed up on it. They're just like, seems legit. This is good.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. Just like a simple mistake somewhere, editing or somewhere, and since it looked normal, it just went. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
That is nuts when you think about it, right?
Well, we have to realize a lot of these products are made under time constraints and budget constraints, and stuff slip through the cracks like that. And if it's especially a word that afterwards looked perfectly normal, then I wouldn't be surprised if someone just changed it. No one looked at it that critical, so to speak. It's especially since a lot of the original text were probably written by someone who turned it in, and that was it, so to speak.
Yeah.
So let's start here at the first published notation, because we got some really good stuff that Rick has done. But let's start here at the beginning that we mentioned here, and I'll throw the map up over. I got so many things open. Hopefully I don't crash my damn stream.
That's what I'm trying not to do too. Is crash my computer.
Yeah. So we go to Greyhawk Adventures here, which I brought up. So in Greyhawk Adventures, under personalities, you're gonna have the discussion. I think Tizzle Sand's in here too, if I recall correctly.
Yep, Tizzle Sand's in there as well.
Yeah. You say things so eloquently too. I say them with like the blah, with marbles in my mouth, which I really like, because I can't say anything. All right, so whole here is page 35. Let's go there.
I just figured it sounded more elven to Tizzle. So
yeah.
And you also please say Flaness, how you say it.
Flanius.
Wow. See, that's okay. I've always said Flaness because I butcher stuff. I'm a butcher of the English language.
Well, A and E usually together is Ias, so I just went with that.
Okay.
Just went with the word etymology of what I'm used to, and that's how I developed my own pronunciation guide.
Turn Deathstalker. We're into the star. We're almost there. Or are we? Here we go. Vale of the Mage. So this is the first time I remember real detail. Because this is pre. This. All right, so we're going back to the beginning here. This is in first edition still, and let's see what we got here. It stats him out at 19th level at this point,
which at that time was very high.
Yeah, absolutely. And it says here that he has made his own the capital of the Great Kingdom. You know, a relative of the Great King, but it doesn't say which one.
I believe I have that in my article here, which one it was someplace.
Oh, in your book? Good, because if you do,
yeah.
Oh, well,
I believe
we'll definitely get to that then.
I just have to find it.
So what time frame are we talking? He came from the Great Kingdom then?
The time frame that he actually came from the Great Kingdom, he first made it to the Vale in 452.
That's recent, meaning come on, then okay, yeah. So we don't know anything about the history before then, so to speak, in this context?
There's not a whole lot that we know about. I do have the history of the Vale, what there is available, and I have used from what Mike had as well, because
because
we have been talking about it.
Yeah, because we must assume that the Valley Elves were there long before that happened. Yeah. So they had a prehistory before he arrived, so to speak, and took over.
So it says here coup d'etat, which it sounds really silly.
He already gave me an idea.
An attempted one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an attempt. Actually, I brought up the article that I had. House Rax is where he's from.
Okay. So he's not Naelix, he's Rax.
Correct. He's House Rax.
Okay. And then we'll go to yours in a second here. So it looks like he just wandered, it says. And then always searching for more spells and magical knowledge. Finally, in the Grand Duchy GF, he found the hidden valley that he now rules. So the thought is that no one knew about this. Maybe that Fae members of Geoff did, but they just didn't care. And then he's the one that's going to take this place, which is interesting. It says and then they're enthusiastic, the elves and gnomes, according to this. The fortified entrances of the valley heavily, both physically and magically, which if I recall in this adventure, it's not. You just walk right in.
It's not very well organized at all.
Right. So
if you've ever seen 13th Warrior, you're immediately reminded of that. It's like it doesn't even a presentable fence.
Right. Oh, that was a multitude of wrong buttons there, everyone. Sorry about that. I was trying to shout out David's Greyhawk musings. I really botched that up. The event, we're gonna talk about that. So it just talks about himself, and we're gonna go into detail on what Rick has. He's obsessed with agents of the Great Kingdom. He thinks they're after him, right? And then Tislin Sand is in here, and I think is this the first time that she's discussed?
Yes.
Yeah, a dark elf who's on the cover of this. So and we'll talk about that. Talk about her as well. So this is your first ever foray into both of them in Greyhawk Adventures. Here's Anna's map of the area, and this is taken right from, I'm assuming, Vale of the Mage, correct, Anna?
Well, yes, but on the latest 576 map, there's one place added called a town called Bardillingham. I added that in the western, lower western and southwest end, so to speak, the southern end of the Vale, because it's from the Gord books. And so whether that fits into this story or something is something I wanted to, or the TSR version of the Vale is something I wanted we should discuss with Rick here. But so I added that, and the rest of the settlements are from the Vale of the Mage. So they are my interpretation to kind of squeeze in the places within the Vale that I had constructed in. And this is, I really love the geography of what I came up with. And it's because that's rough. I did that probably 4 years into starting to use Bryce. And that's when I started to figure out how to do it. And I must say that that's one of my areas on the map that I'm most proud of, because it is, the geography is really, really cool. And that is something I would love to, I'm really dying to get into it, because I love the geography. So doing that with World Machine and the modern tools, that and Rift Canyon are something I'm dying to get into to detailing, so to speak. But it's some of the areas that I think will fit really well and have aged well, so to speak, on the map. What do you think, Rick?
Well, first off, the first one that is from the Gord books. Personally, I have no problem with it. I will say some of the Gord books, the later ones especially, diverge away from.
Yeah, they are all over the place.
They diverge heavily away from a lot of the content. In some cases, some people will even say that, you know, the Sharon Crimea, you know, has no such right to be there, and the Demiurge is, like, you know, in control. And I was very vague about that when I wrote about it in Veil of the Mage. I did that on purpose, so that way people can decide for themselves.
Yeah.
It's like, there it is. Here's the information. Take it and do what you want with it. You know?
Well, let's get the bad out of the way before we do the good with Rick stuff. How's that sound?
That'll work. And I think I remember also, by the way, that when you were working on that map for Veil of the Mage, Anna, I had been sending you my map at that time, the map that Jay had up just a little bit ago. I sent you that map, and I'm like, here, this is probably the most detailed you're going to get out of that area.
Yep.
So if you've never seen this before or read this before, it's an area setting with a really bad sidetrack adventure in it, right? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Am I saying that right?
It's like trying to put too much into one thing.
Yeah.
It looks like they tried to make almost like a backdrop book, and then they tried to make it an adventure at the same time. And then they've, you know, and then don't get me wrong, Jean is actually a really good novel writer. But I think they tried to shove her into a position to where she was trying to do an adventure, and she just did not know what was going on.
True enough. Yeah, and my immediate thing that I note here is that you got this group of necromancers rummaging through here for some unknown reason that they really don't go ever into detail on. And the reason, I mean, it says right here, second edition adventure. So they're like, well, what haven't we used before? Well, you know what? The necromancer's kind of a sub, you know, it's one of those spheres in mages. Let's use that. And I think, you know, it just felt like, okay, you know, I can see if there's a necromancer with a purpose there, but there's all these necromancers running around. I don't recall them having a legion of undead with them or anything. They're just all necromancer. It was weird. It just felt off. Now we ran it still. I actually ran this way back in the day when it first came out, but it's got some great information in here. So the adventure part of it's kind of silly, but the detail, at least there is some detail. I mean, Jaren is and he's the black one because he calls himself that, but no one really knows why. Correct?
It's the way that I've looked at it is that he's an outcast. He's essentially has a black mark on his family name. So he feels dejected, outcast. And, you know, it became a derogatory term that I think that followed him in his adventuring days, that it just rolled over. At least that's from my perception anyway, because he did adventure in the Bandit Kingdoms.
Okay. So Von Moki asked a question too. I think it's a reverse. It's the Milky Way bar and the Milky Way galaxy deal. Isn't it that you said, aren't there a bunch of necromancers in Bissell, which is right next door? Probably in Living Greyhawk, because they said, well, there's necromancers in Valley of the Mage running around. Maybe they got to come from somewhere. I don't know.
They're actually, they are from like a neighboring area.
Yeah. And that's my guess is that was part of it. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, that they backed it in and go, oh, that's a good idea. That's a guess. That's an absolute guess, Michael, on me. So his background information is pretty extensive in this book. Multiple pages. He's got some spells. Okay.
Yes.
He's got some unique spells.
Actually, one spell in there you're going to grab and use immediately as soon as you look at it.
Reflection?
Nope.
Oh, Exalted Eye.
Keep on going.
Oh, really?
9th level.
Oh, well, yeah. 9th level. Did I miss it? Is it still beyond this?
Go up.
Up?
Though they might not be in there. Oh, I think it actually might have been from one of the oh crap, like one of the dragons.
Okay, it's got Unmasked, Exalted Eye, and Reflection are in here.
Sharon's Prismatic Blade.
Oh, I like that. That's a good one.
That spell is just nasty. That is a prismatic sphere and a blade.
Yeah. The Mage. Oh man. Yeah, you like that. David said the Mage is a robotic survivor to Barrier Peaks crash landed. Yes. Gary just had a stroke. Tizzle Sands in here with a lot of detail. The question out there now is why does Dromage hate this character so much? Does anyone know? And once again, is that another living Greyhawk deal? Or is it stated somewhere?
That was something that I had actually wondered about too. Is why the dislike originally? It didn't really make a lot of sense to me when I first read it, and I'm looking up here because I believe I wrote something about that.
Yeah, Dromage. It is in the City Greyhawk box set. Okay, so it's got to have to do, Aaron Daddy and respect a lot. There you go. Awesome. My guess is it has to do with Dromage's background, and he just doesn't like Jaren Crimea. He probably wants to, and it's like, why is this dark elf helping him?
Found it. 568. It's in my thing here.
All right, good. We're almost all right. So let me get through this, and we're going to go to all your stuff here. Just note that Valley Elves. The Valley Elves are in here.
Yep.
The Valley Elves are also in Monster Manual 2, and also in the Showcanth supplement. I believe they're in there too.
And Living Greyhawk Journal as well.
Okay. So it talks about them in here. So it's good. The Valley Elves are more like Tolkien elves on size. They're not 7 feet tall, but they're not short like Greyhawk elves are. They're human sized. So I have one character in the entire campaign that has a Valley Elf. So do they have Valley Girls? Yeah. You remember Night of the Comet there, David? Valley Girls surviving the apocalypse. So
that's actually in the PDF that I am previously released. There's Dromage's disdain.
Okay, there it is. Whether through an actual meeting or word of mouth, the Archmage officially remarks disdain for the Valley Elves and their current despotic leader, Black One, to the Court of Slean and to the Archmage Mordenkainen. The Mordenkainen probably like, there are gnomes here too. There's a lot of gnomes.
Yep.
1,200. Normal gnomes. So it says here the gnomes worship Alana, which I find strange. But yeah, interesting. All right, and then it goes on and it goes through all this other stuff, and we'll talk about a lot of this in Rick's. They got patrols in here. What it is. If you want to make this into your own little mini campaign setting and have some like play gnomes and Valley Elves, it's a great place to do it. And then here's the map on the side, and we'll go through all this in a second here. So Anna, a majority of the map was taken from there, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So let's get to the good stuff here. So Rick, how long have you been working on this?
I've been, for years. I every once in a while I go back to it and I clean it up some more. And like the newest version, I just sent you the PDF of that.
Yep.
today. When my new web page goes up, that is going to be one of the features right there.
Awesome.
It's going to have a full Veil of the Mage Gazetteer. It's going to have everything that you pretty much need to know, and if you don't know or you have questions, ask. It's right now, I have the PDF open right now in front of me. It is 15 pages, but it'll probably end up being closer to 20 when I'm done.
It's got some good information in here, so let's start at the beginning. And you got 5th edition stuff in here too, which is kind of neat. So
yes,
you got some fantastic data here. So let's start at the beginning here, and tell us just number one, why and what your thoughts are. I got to put this together because this is my brain. The other stuff makes me have a stroke. Like what's there's everyone has something that drives them crazy. Like Doom Grinder drives me freaking crazy, right? Is this what drove you? Is this what drives you crazy in Greyhawk?
This is one of the areas that once I read that module, I just looked at it and I said, somebody's got to come through and clean this mess up.
Yep, that's my feeling too, and I have some ideas too. But please, Rick, continue.
Yeah, but I just looked at it and I said, it had such great great ideas in the Greyhawk hardback, and then I got to that module and I looked at it and I'm like, excuse my language, I'm going to be blunt, but we are all adults here. Who took a shit on this? That was my thought.
Yeah, it's one of the most missed up gold. It was a golden opportunity and almost like an open goal. You could do something cool with it, and then they missed it, so to speak. It's
Doom Grinder's the same thing.
Thank you.
I actually talked. Believe it or not, I actually talked to the author of that when he was doing it, and he's like, "I already turned it in."
Oh my!
Because I sent him a message. He's like, "I can't take it back."
Damn, you were a couple of months too late.
Yes, 2 days.
Well, I gave him a whole bunch of ideas about how we should have handled it. He's just like, crap.
I'm reworking it. I'm reworking it. I've done four full adventures now in the prelude to an apocalypse. So yeah, hopefully it'll come together.
I used this as a countdown for Thuristan being released.
Michael said, so one thing, you said Jean's a great writer, but Michael Valmoku says, I don't believe Jean Rabe was that familiar with Greyhawk.
Correct. She really wasn't. Von Moku, you are 100% correct. Jean was a novel writer. She was new to the entire thing. They said, hey, write something on Greyhawk. Okay, well, here, write an adventure. Okay. Well, no. We want information on the background too. Okay. And I think it just, got to be overwhelming.
So, okay. And she probably is like, this is, who did the cartography work? Do you know? Because the cartography work was not bad. So
go back to that.
So it's
got it.
Oh,
cartography, Dave Sutherland.
Okay, and he's a legend.
Yeah.
It's a little too tropical. All of a sudden, they have palm trees everywhere and stuff, and we have to realize we're in the temperate area.
Yeah,
kind of warm temperate, but way up in the mountains and stuff. Tropical, no. Well, unless there's magic and stuff. But there's nothing in the theme that suggests to me that the Veil of the Mage should be tropical.
That was a major thing that I had to change.
Yeah.
Major. I looked at the entire area.
I see it as pure temperate forests, mountains, and colder up there and stuff like that. It's like a temperate valley full of forests and cliffs and caves and stuff like that. That's my vision of the area from judging from geography and climate.
That's exactly the way that I looked at it, the exact same way.
Yep.
So you did a great job here with taking what was there and building on it and cleaning it up and smoothing it over, putting your own little spin on it, which I love. I think it's fantastic. I know this one's updated, so I just got this one, but I had the previous one, which I think was a page or two less. So
probably, yeah.
What sticks out to you? Number one, what's the number one thing you're like, this is great. This is what I see. I made a major improvement on. What would that be?
Well, one of the things that I had added into there was that the black one was, I'm sure if anybody is going to really make everybody go back, but if you remember the Shadow Sages, that the black one was the one who created the Shadow Sages. They were his own little network of spies.
And they are to seek out and make sure that the Great Kingdom's spies aren't finding him. Is that correct? Okay.
Correct. And that's the other thing is that he took the name the Black One, the darkest of the shadows, because that way that people could not also track his name. So they were not tracking him down by his family name, which I believe that Crimea is probably not even his actual real last name.
So, good point.
Yeah, we have the Raxus and we have the
Naelixes.
Crendons, Nail. Yeah, meaning
correct.
There's especially the older houses like Rax and Crandons and stuff that was part of on the throne earlier on. That would be kind of cool to have an offshoot from one of those houses who had to flee because he was on the wrong side in a dispute or something cool. So yeah.
So I'm going to ask this question. Black One, Shadow, yeah. You're saying he's a shade?
Correct.
Okay.
That's actually, if I'm correct, that came from either The Adventure Begins or Living Greyhawk Gazetteer.
It's post this. It's post this. So it's either 2.5 Greyhawk or 3.0 Greyhawk.
Yeah, it's very early 3.0.
Gary, do you know if you're on? So there's always I remember seeing that. And I've been loving. Well, good to hear, Aaron. It's What about like
Eric Mona? That does not surprise me.
So all right. So then it's it's Living Greyhawk. All right. My question is this to you: do you see this? Do you see him as a straight wizard, in the same as Mordenkainen, Tensor? Maybe have some special spells, but he's not a specialist. He's not a shadow mage. He's not a necromancer. Invoker,
none of that. Actually, by his definition, from being from the Great Kingdom, they actually have this in 5th edition. I've had it previous editions as well. Okay. He was a war mage.
Okay.
When he started out, he was a war mage.
So like the spellcasters in Dragon Age.
Yeah.
Okay.
Similar. His spells were all combat based, which made sense for him moving on as an adventurer because that's what he was aimed for.
See, Aaron, you always got to put a connection in there with names on different spots there. So, okay. So, I like this. How many of these did you make up yourself, or how many of these are published source?
Which ones? Go
ahead. Authority figures.
Authority figures, I think most of everything that I put in there had already pre-existed.
Okay.
I think, let me look in here. The only one I think that I added in was, and I think it was already off of something that existed, was Alexorus.
Okay, the comment on the Valley Elves.
Yeah.
How come I probably missed it? There's a 14th level, 4th. Oh my God, I thought it said 14th. I was like, oh my gosh, that guy's powerful. It says Barbarian 4. My apologies. I thought it said Barbarian 14. I'm like, oh my God. Because if you're looking at 2nd edition, but that's a buku character. that table. All right, so the Black One rules with supremacy over the Vale. His 2 officers are First Protector and Nairu. So is he one of the ones in this book?
Yeah, he's actually one of the necromancers, and Eric had actually posted that in I think it was Living Greyhawk Gazetteer that Nero had actually taken over. Not really taken over, but was kind of a figurehead for the Black One.
So that assumes Noble Adventures didn't come in and kick their asses, right? Or kill them. That assumes something else happened in this, if this adventure was run. Like, there were no adventurers. They captured them, and then they made a negotiation with them or something. Am I reading that correctly?
Or that there was already a falling out in between them. The necromancers were defeated. They were defeated. Nero was captured by the Valley Elves and interrogated by the First Protector.
Okay. So, just trying to in my head, trying to connect the dots here, because Eric does that. Eric loves to connect dots from other publications all the time.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just seeing what his thought process is with all that, and that's pretty neat that he gave that kind of thought. You know, I'm really appreciative of the way he does things like that. Go ahead.
I remember talking to him about that some as well. It's about Veil of the Mage, because I was doing stuff even back then, and we were discussing it, and we kind of went over things. Eric and I both have that whole wheels within wheels thing going on in our campaigns, in the way that we design everything. That there's nothing that's just one thing outside of another. There's everything is interconnected somehow.
Okay. Anna, do you have any questions about where we've been so far on this?
No, I think it's really cool, and I had a. Excuse me. Yeah, I had some ideas and stuff. I'm going to come later on to my version, and we'll see, because I had a future Elven campaign that I thought I would set in the Vale of Mage, and I haven't more than just because I got this PDF like 5 minutes ago, so I haven't read it properly, so to speak. So it will be interesting. So, but please, I don't want to interrupt and kind of take my version of it. So I'm just listening and being inspired, because already I've come up with new cool adventure ideas for a future campaign here. But I want to tie into that. So sorry, go on.
One thing for you, Anna, to remember about this is that will work in probably perfectly in your campaign, is that the reason why the Black One has as much influences that he does is that in a lot of ways he's like Tensor. He's like a figurehead, a protective force that's there. But the Valley Elves, they have autonomy.
Yeah. So the way I perceive it, and I wanted to tie into Old Flan, and since they mentioned from really old, so in my take is that back some thousands of years ago, before Vecna, so to speak, the Vecna was the kind of the epitome of what I would call the Witch King period of Old Flan, so to speak. They had learned undeath, and they started to dabble with necromancy and stuff, and that became like a fad, and rulers of Old Flan realized that was the gateway to power. So that meant that they popped up a little bit. Witch Kings became the fad, so to speak. Then and so Witch Kings, they learned from each other, and all of a sudden you had this kind of horrors popping up everywhere. Vecna, and so on. They are the names that have survived through history, but there were numerous others, so to speak. It was like a kind of religion that spread out before the modern old faith that is named by the Erdi to being the old faith. But but back then there were a group of elves that also caught in on this, so to speak, because they were like bored, and they didn't like they were kind of outcast of the regular elven culture and the Seldarin and the elven gods, whatever. So they adopted that idea too, and we like a Witch King, and we going to promote that, and ganged up, and they were kind of ousted, and why don't flee into a valley that is kind of hidden away, and that we can practice that's witchery and that stuff, so to speak, and they became the Valley Elves. And the dim forest and that area has connections to the dark fae and the shadow and stuff, so that influenced them too, and they kind of grew into a special elven cult. And now we're talking 5,000-6,000 years ago, and then after then started other humans and stuff coming along, and they were very reclusive, so to speak, and they kept growing, and this cult kind of was there for a long time. And then comes the Great Kingdom and this Jaren figure, and he needed somewhere to flee, and he comes in there, and all of a sudden he's an outsider. And since what happened with Insular, they thought they were the coolest, most badass wizards, whatever, but they weren't, because they had been insular for thousands of years. So they were really cool in their own universe, so to speak. But outside, things have advanced and become, even Vecna came and went, and they stayed in their little bubble in there. Vecna didn't care about these kind of old-fashioned elves that were in there, and they didn't threaten everybody else. He came in and started taking over. And that's when things started cooking, so to speak, because you had this old culture that was completely ruthless and been on for millennia, so to speak. And they knew how to tyrant each other and stuff. And then he came along and was kind of an evil outcast from Great Kingdom. It was kind of a match made in heaven, so to speak. And he kind of skyrocketed up. The problem was that he's a human. He dies after a century, or kind of.
That's why I made him a shade.
Exactly. That's why there's a shadow influence, and I have him that he's become what I would call a shadow lich. I haven't come up with the details yet, but I want to make him a one-of-a-kind monster, so to speak. So he became a shadow lich, and now he rules part. But the Valley Elves don't like this intruder and outsider once the novelty wore off, so to speak, and they've learned his tricks. And now there's kind of a civil war going on in between it, and that's where I want my party characters being invited by the other faction of the Valley Elves to deal with this damn monster from outside, so to speak, because I think that will be an elven horror campaign, so to speak, that I'm trying to dig into, so to speak. And yeah, that's my initial thoughts of what I want to do with the Valley of the Mage.
I want to go down this rabbit hole, Gary and Rick, on this one, but how many thousands of years ago did the Light Dark War occur in Greyhawk?
Oh, you mean with the Dark Elves?
Yeah.
I want to have that as probably after the Valley Elves were an earlier offshoot or later. I haven't decided on that one, but I want to have it like somewhere 5,000-10,000 years ago, 6,000 maybe.
Well, 5 and 10's a lot of difference, right?
Exactly, but I don't want to nail it down yet. I want to do it step by step, so to speak. And
I have it prehistory 4,000 to 5,000 years ago.
Okay,
yeah.
So yeah. Here's my question that I put out to Gary. The Sul Imperium and the Backlunish Empire, neither of them knew about the Valley, or they just ignored it? It's right there on the border.
Well, it's a fantasy world, and you don't travel far, and it's kind of hard to get to. And remember, even in Europe, there were isolated valleys in the Alps.
I agree.
Medieval times.
I agree, but we got magic here. I mean, look,
come on, it's hard to get to. You don't want to walk 200 miles through the nasty forest, but
no one walks. You got people flying carpets and stuff, and people flying on dragons,
but you don't want to fly over that nasty forest. You can fly somewhere else.
I mean, it's very possible. It's very possible.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking.
In that sense, it's kind of the Switzerland of even worse. It's like it's one of these really hard to get to places.
Switzerland's hard to get to, Von Moku, but
Anna, definitely look at the history of the Vale when you're doing your campaign. There's a ton of stuff that's added in there. Some of that is stuff that I work together with Mortal, Mike Bridges.
Yep.
We work together and
put this
together.
Yeah, now I want to take my idea, then I want to read your awesome PDF and then redo my thing and then because now I have a ton of other cool input, and now I want to see how much of my idea and view actually holds, so to speak, because I might be so inspired by all this cool stuff, so that might be only 10% of what I came up with initially that will actually be true afterwards. So we'll see. Yeah.
Well, there's a fun part. There's a permanent permanent gate to the shadow plane
in the dim forest
in the Vale of the Mage that Sharon created.
Okay,
Ooh,
so you
There's
say
a
here that there's
permanent
one in the dim forest originally, right?
Yep.
In the prehistory. Okay, which makes sense to the Fae that you know that Eric Mengi and Jose have been working on for a while. So, all right. So the Valley Elven can't wait to Selene himself to formally demand his court stop playing fairy mystery games and do something about this menace. The Grey Elves of the Fae Court of Selene disregarded as the Valley Elven King ordered him back to his station in anger that her Fae Majesty ordered the Valley Elves to cease protecting the dim forest. So you're trying to explain. So is this after LG that you wrote this?
A lot of it, yeah.
Okay, because you know what they did with the Fae, and that's why you're trying to explain why they're not active when the Fae is there. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I tried to do a lot of cleanup.
Like I love that. I love that.
Make it link together.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Mm-hmm. There was no Mage of the Valley before 40. So just Gary, yeah. Maybe there was someone else there who's been dead a long time, right? Maybe you know.
Like I said, I did have a demiurge that was there as well.
Okay.
There was somebody there.
All right,
so there was one there at one point.
Okay.
So
here it is. All right, so let's get to that. So as we're going on your timeline here, Twin Cataclysms -422, which is cool. And here's the Valley Elf refusing the Selene's edicts. It's only 2 years after the Twin Cataclysm. Wow. After many years of rebuilding the Soul, and the Valley Elves create a defensible area in which they may live in harmony. Huh. So they know of each other at this point. This is when the souls are migrating? Yep. Okay. All right. The Oli tribe of Paynham's first raid into the villages and flocks. So the Alls are raiding in through the mountains. Yep. Okay.
This was actually a time when Yule was really more of a raiding type area than it is now.
So Gary, I understand that why you want it to be like ancient. You want it to be visceral, going way back in time. But isn't that what Vecna is, or Azarek, and all those?
I see them as not recent history, but fairly recent. But I want to, meaning we have like in the real world, we have at least 12,000 years of history, and I want to see in the Flanneys maybe things have evolved a bit slower, so there might be 20 or 30,000 years of history before, which is kind of cool because then you can really have ancient empires and ancient whatever and ruins and stuff like that, a possibility of it. And yeah,
I will have to say that the nice part about the history is that there's a lot of gaps.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You can
put in, you know, add in what you want. I mean, if you're like, hey, I'd really like to add this in, by all means, do it.
Yeah, and if you have things that live for 1,000 years, meaning more than history should stretch more than 10 generations.
Yeah,
it's so yeah.
What Rick has done here though is really like he's got a nice war here. It lasts a decade, right? Mm-hmm. That's cool. So the Alls are raiding in, and Mike's probably ecstatic about that.
Oh yeah,
he was actually part of that.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
We had discussed it back and forth.
Yeah.
And his Yule history, he said, hey, what would happen, like, you know, with the Vale? Says, because that's kind of your favorite thing over here. And I said, well, during that time, I said, invasions are very likely.
Okay.
I mean, the entire area is just, you know, just prime for that type of activity.
So do we know why King Daeron died? I know it says the second one, Calendris Ledwin dies of unknown causes, but do we know why why? I guess is that his father?
That would be his. Yeah, it was his father in that case.
Do you have a theory? Did he just? I mean, was he? Did we actually?
I just think at that time for him, it was just
okay.
Just from being burned out, old age. If you look at it right before, you've got like the twin cataclysms, you've got the invasions coming from Ol, you've got Vecna, like right there. If you look at the dates, it's negative 357. Right there.
Maybe Vecna got inspired by the Valley Elves or something like that. They might have given him some hints, so to speak, or inspiration or something. So yeah, you never know which way it goes.
So using arcane magics never seen before in the Vale, a man simply known as the Demiurge arrived in the Vale. Within a year, he had helped the Valley Elves fortify the Vales. Now, here comes question. I'm going to ask another question. It's going to make Gary's head explode.
Too late.
When does the spaceship crash? I'm dead serious. When does that happen in your thought? Is it recent, or is it 1,000 years, 500 around this time? I'm just asking.
I would think it would be maybe around this time.
Okay.
Maybe like around like 300 to 400 CY at most.
Okay.
That's very recent.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of those, there's not generational monsters in there, so that's another thing you got to think about too, right?
Yeah.
The monsters aren't generational. So, I just wanted to know because the Barrier Peaks just came up. It's right in that area, and I just wanted to put it all in one big picture here. So that's it. So the Demiurge is running this for 150 years roughly, and then he disappears. He or she, right?
Yep.
And your thoughts on why? Age?
My thoughts, well, I mean, most people have assumed that he's like a humanoid or human type figure, so I put the age of around, most ages of humans to pass on.
Okay.
So, that he not so much died, but he just disappeared because a lot of the higher end spellcasters usually left to go to the planes the older they got.
Or the liches crumbled in to become demi-liches.
Yeah.
Could be any of things, or or you cast the wrong spell, you cast a teleport spell, and you teleported into solid rock once, right? The racial makeup of the Vale is messed. As OBF. Right? Okay, an unusual that makes them more like all Ket people. So,
yep, very much.
Okay,
very much. I would say there would be some Soul, but the Soul were the Vale of the Mage was just, if the Soul came through, it was a passing by. They came by, and that was it. There wasn't a full settlement at that point.
Okay. So, let's see. Rumors persist that the Valley is aiding Geoff during the Geoff conflict, acting as scouts and providing intelligence reports on Kiosh tactics and supply lines to the Grand Duke's forces. That is really interesting. So, thoughts on that? Like the Grand Duke's a human, right? Of Geoff? Yeah. Okay. That's an interesting one.
I think it was just trying to fit some of the political things that were going on at the time into the actual work itself. They had a good relationship, and I think it was just, I'm trying to remember exactly how I wrote it. But.
Yeah, it's that I've never, that's a new one for me, which is cool. So maybe trying to explain, I always saw Geoff as being in such a cool position with the dim forest and everything that Kaelan was more of a nuisance. Like Sturridge was basically a full vassal state, but Geoff wasn't. Right? Is that correct?
And I could see the just looking at it again, I could see that the Valley Elves would help an underdog.
Okay.
And the thing is, if you were the Valley Elves, wouldn't you want to keep Keeland out of your borders by creating a buffer state? I would.
Yeah.
That seems what the Kiewish Empire did with Bissell, Grand March, and the Ulex and whatever. They created a whole circle of buffer states around their core country, both west, north, east, and not south, because they had the ocean that protected them, but everywhere else. So.
Thank you, Aaron. Really appreciate it. So I love asking these questions, man. Well, I got you here.
This is cool.
Yeah,
that's fine. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, exactly. I love asking these. So at 452 he appears. That's published source.
Yep.
Okay.
And also, Rick, I love how you use the public or the published sources as much as possible, and then build upon them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that. Is
beautiful.
Exactly the approach I love.
Absolutely beautiful,
so to speak.
That's how I've always been taught that it's been done. Is you find your published source, you go through it, you see, okay, this makes sense. This makes sense. Wow, there's a huge gap here.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's a little footnote that even there, the 10 footnote down below. After earning the trust of the Valley Elves, who think that he is the demiurge of ages past, they accept him with open arms.
So they just think he's reincarnated or come back in another form?
Similar, yeah. They just think that it's like, oh, well, he's back. He's, this really powerful wizard. He seems legit. We haven't seen him for a while. Why not?
Okay. That's awesome. All right, so the Druids of Jakar. In exile, the Druidic hierophants of the Cabal, Jakar and his retinue of loyal Druids sought entry into the Vale this year. So this is 7 years after he's taken power. Druids were permitted to enter Vale. This time period, Jakar and Jaren worked together to create the Collars of Jakar. Is this your lore?
This is something that I built together, yeah.
Okay. Which aided in Druids and their attempts to shape change. In doing so, Jaren and Jakar come to a mutual understanding of the nature of Vale, how it should be protected. Jakar vows to protect it from within, while Jaren agrees to protect the outside intruders. Okay. Nice. Here comes the Witch Queen. Here comes Igwolf. Is there a download link for this material? So you want to answer that one, Rick? Patrick's asking. I have not shared any of these with anyone.
Patrick, there will be one coming out on my new webpage. I'm working on trying to get it together. I have an old version that should still be in the Oerth Journal, if I'm correct.
Do you know what number?
I think 20.
All right, check our journal 20, Patrick, for this information.
I think it's 20, but I could tell you if it's not 20, it's like right around that area.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Igwol sinks a council with the Black One and is permitted into the valley by the Black One himself. Neat. This is almost like Darth Vader and Obi-Wan fighting 10 years, and then they just forget it that they fought in the first Star Wars movie, right?
Hey, I'm not going to give out any spoilers, but that series was badass.
It was good. The two rivals meet and exchange. Rivals.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting to use that term. Exchange pleasantries before going over notes on planetary travel, mysteries, and exchanging various spells. All right, and so Grazitz, she screws up, and Grazitz takes care of her at the same time. Repulsion of Ayus. Emissaries, the land of Ayus, are sent to the Vale, and are quickly repelled, suffering horrendous losses. Sent back with the emissaries with a small black iron chest filled with the possessions of the fallen servants of Ayus, and a note telling the fell lord of the north never to set foot in the Vale again. Well, I guess that was that there, and that is 481. So Ayus is still growing in power at that point, and has not been imprisoned the first time yet.
And that's just pretty much exactly what a war mage would do in those respects too. It's like, okay, you're looking to invade? I don't think so.
Yeah,
you're looking to try to get yourself a foothold? Think again.
So here comes Tislin in 501. So do we know what year this is? It's second edition, and it's post Greyhawk Wars, I'm assuming. So I'm saying 5.
I think.
What's that? 91?
I think it was 90. I think it's come out. Yeah, 1990.
No, I know. I mean, what you're in the timeline.
Oh, okay.
585. Yeah. When's the Pact of Greyhawk? 585 or?
Pact of Greyhawk.
It would have been between 576 to 585.
Okay.
Yeah,
one of those.
Because that was right before Greyhawk Wars.
Yeah.
This is before Greyhawk Wars, 2nd edition.
Correct.
I think so.
Huh.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought it was.
Well, hang on a second. Since From the Ashes is also 2nd edition, so I'm not sure.
From the Ashes is 92 though, isn't it?
Yeah, but
that's
From the Ashes set into line the WGR series. WGR 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So WG12 predates from the Ashes, but I mean we're talking like barely.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool. So let's see. Okay. This is where he comes out. The Valley Elven King abdicates. The Valley Elven marks the year the Valley Elven King and his followers leave the Vale and head to Gorna.
Yep.
This is only one group though. It's not all the elves.
Not all. No, just the Valley Elf King and his small retinue.
Okay. He just is like, I should be running this, not you. And he said, that's it.
It was between that and I think trying to get more relations with Jeff at the time.
Okay.
So I think it was just the Valley Elf King. It's just like, this ain't working out. I'm out. Let's go to some place. And they had good relationships, with Jeff. So they went that direction.
Look at this, Gary. The Prince Triseren death is in here. So Queen of Selene was slain by a band of, and I've done a lot on this too on my streams, humanoids from the lands of the Lort Mills. Still looking for his sword in my campaign. When they're expelled first by Selene, later by Uluk, several gaps in the defenses appeared. All right. Many refugees humanoids tried to escape their fates by entering the dim forest. All right. So a lot of them went west. A lot of them went far west, which means they had to cross. That means they had to cross through the marshes there, right? Where Vecna's original keep was.
Mm-hmm.
Correct, because they're not going to go on open ground through Keeland. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, and also an impotent minor lord of the Grand March was slain while attempting to gain audience with the Valley Elven King. Interesting. Okay. Thank you, Patrick, for getting that. Rushmore's. Thank you, Gary. I forgot the name of that. I'm getting old. All right. Here we go. 521. Creation of the Elemental Glade with the aid of Duicarthan, the First Protector. Opens up the gates to the elemental plains, one of the glades of Alana, spread through the valley, hoping to revitalize the dying glade. After several days of rigorous attempts, the end result is the creation of a minor planar bleed of the 4 base elements. So it was technically it was not successful.
Wasn't successful in the way that they anticipated.
Okay. What is the net effect of that area now? Is it bad for that area of the Vale, or is it good for that area of the Vale?
It's actually in that module that you've got right there. It's actually in that module that you got in your hot little hands there.
There you go.
The elemental glades are actually in there. This was me trying to make sense of why there's these elemental glades, and I'm looking at going, why the hell are these here?
I don't ever remember coming across those with the Necromancer group. So there you go. That's because the adventure kind of, All right. So that's some of the interesting things on the rumors. That's a false rumor, though.
This is some of the coolest timeline for any Greyhawk product ever. This one. Yeah, definitely.
Hey,
when I'm reading through it, it's super fascinating and yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you. You just made me blush.
Oh yeah, this is
awesome.
is so cool. This is so cool. So yeah, I will have.
That's why we're going very slowly through this to note that Rick's step by stepping this, which is great.
Yep.
What is this? Ring of 5.
Oh, Ring of 5. There you go, Gary.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for him to.
And he's the black one is. it's asked to join the Ring of Five and accepts. Wow.
Is the Ring of Five part of not part of the Seekers, is it?
No. The Ring of Five is. Go ahead, Gary. Go ahead and say something, Gary. We gotta let you. Zagig. All wizards that were underneath the
Igvilven and stuff was part of it.
The Ring of Five is that group that was underneath the ruins of Greyhawk Castle.
Yeah.
Zagig's castle.
Yep. And Igvilven and stuff were part of that outfit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's classic.
You mean
Greyhawk.
Tasha?
Yeah. Exactly. Before when she went under the name of Tasha.
So,
yes.
I can get you the exact members of the Ring of Five right here.
Oh, cool. Yep.
I've got them.
They were in Expedition Ruins of Greyhawk.
Zagig. Ding, ding, ding. Tierney the Merciless.
Yeah, Tierney. Yeah.
Jiran Crimea. Kiagtam.
Yeah.
And Diane are the ones that I put down.
It's like a sinister bunch.
Diane's a paladin, though, right?
She's very much like a paladin.
Uh-oh.
But she's...
Well, Tasha was kind of holding off on her most evil side in those days. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm a fan of interconnecting Igwolf and Tasha is the same. I
love that story.
Yeah.
I think it's super cool. I connected it in my campaign.
Okay.
So it's canon in my campaign now. So yeah.
It's Gary's fault.
It's Gary's fault. I thought it was Eric
Thank you,
Cronin's
Gary.
fault.
That was good. Yep.
No, actually, that came from Treasures of Greyhawk. Treasures of Greyhawk article that we wrote. That's directly pulled from there.
Okay. I love that article. All right, let's see what else we got here. Sindar Syrian is a protege of the Black Ones, chosen to be Black One's representative in Castle Greyhawk. Okay.
Yep.
The Mountain Dwarves start construction of Dwarf Reach Citadel after finalizing an alliance pact against the Giants with the Black One. Where is that?
Dwarf Reach Citadel?
Yeah.
I don't have the map in front of me. Do you have your map in front of you, Anna?
Okay, I have the
this map? Or is it
what was the question?
Dwarf Reach
Citadel. It should be on that map.
No, I don't think I have that on the map. So
you don't have it on
it's
yours?
In the Vale? Is it in the Vale somewhere?
Yeah, it is in the Vale.
Oh.
Yes, that is in the Vale.
Hang on a second. Dwarf Reach. No, it's. I don't think it's.
I don't see any with dwarven symbols either.
Yeah. Dwarf Reach.
Uncle Fuzz. The Ring of Five was after the Company of Seven had been formed.
Okay.
Like quite a ways after.
Yeah, Aaron Deddy. I'm very happy with that. Yep.
Yep.
It's 20 or 30 years too late, but never late.
Yeah.
Better late than never. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a great thing.
I didn't like Certain didn't make any sense because Certain's a cleric. I'm looking at Lang's stats. Leoman did not make any sense whatsoever. Melf did not fit either.
No.
That's something that in Gary's Ring of Five article that we both agreed on. It's just like, okay, two of these make sense. The rest, not so much.
Leoman was
Leoman would have nothing to do.
Hang on a second. Where do we want the Dwarf Reach castle?
Up
here.
In the northern part?
I think it was like right around the middle there.
Oh, in the
right
middle.
Around the. Let me see. I gotta bring up a window here and hope I don't crash my drive.
I know. Don't you hate that? You're like, oh, it's gonna go.
You know it's gonna go at some point.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Sweden and Finland joining NATO, the last hurdle might not be over. That might be a glitch or two before it's done. But hopefully,
oh really?
The
news today said it was as good as gold.
Come on, we're talking about top diplomacy in times of war and stuff, and that can always be a little glitch. But hopefully, it's a not less bumpy route from now on to about the end of the year when it's all being ratified by all the 30 countries in NATO.
Anyway,
yep. Sorry.
Getting back to that, the black one has 2 different citadels in the Vale of the Mage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I agree on, Gary. Make your own canon before you mess with existing canon and retcon and fit all their things in like that. I'm sorry, where was it?
Yeah, I would, if I remember correctly, it was right around where the if you look at Anna's map, it would be right around where your cursor's at, right there in the middle.
Here?
Yeah, Dwarf Reach would be somewhere right around the middle there. If I'm
okay.
Correct.
Yep.
If I'm correct. So I've got a map I had it on. I thought that one that you've got, Jay, the old one, I think it has it.
Let me take a look. I'm gonna pop it up right now.
I think it's on there.
It is. Look at that, Anna. There it is.
Okay, then I missed it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah,
so,
there we go. Mm-hmm.
All right. So it's midway between Vine Reach and Woods Deep.
Yep, right where you were wandering your cursor at, like I said.
Cool. And look, there's this crash shipwreck right there. I'm just kidding.
Oh dear God.
I had to do it. I had to push buttons. I got them pushed on me enough. Yeah, I know those place names are painful. Little Bissell. How did that happen? Yeah,
it's I don't know.
It's canon, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of weird stuff from the module. I'm going to look at the module map here, and because I think most of them are actually from the module map. I think
she is correct.
Button, correct.
Yeah, and it's a lot of stuff that I just put it in. I didn't put any value to the module, so to speak. I just tried to put the stuff in there and be done with it, because I don't like the module much, and I will. So there's a lot of Little Bissell is from the Vale of the Mage module.
So anybody who happens to be a fan of gnomes, I apologize, but a lot of the names I figured were made by the gnomes.
Yeah.
yeah. They're too cutesy to put it to kind of fit in with the story. So they're too cute and cuddly for my opinion for the place. So but that might be kind of part of the fun. You can
So now you're going to have try and explain why no one's found it until the campaign setting starts. Though the guys who curious missives and agents, the black one sets into play key events that conceal his identity and that the Veil itself, right?
But that is also an interesting question. Meaning, find it. Meaning, it's like North America. It was there long before Columbus found it, and there were several others who found it even from Europe, but it was not common knowledge before, so to speak. So So we can say the same thing about the Vale of the Mage. Vecna, I'm sure, knew it was there, and his top henchmen knew it was there. And a lot of others before then, the elves are probably aware of found it since then the Valley Elves were formed, so to speak. But the common people of most, and in a way, we can say that the published history of Greyhawk is written by Pluffett Smedgard the Elder and by the Airdie. And that's how you can see it. So what he knew and what they knew in the Grey Kingdom and Rossi's later, that's what we see as official, meaning there's a whole slew of things, meaning it's the victor's story. And the Vale of the Mage was this kind of weird little place up in the big mountains far out in the west that no one knew about back in Grey Kingdom because it was outside of their scope of sphere of interest, basically. But that doesn't mean that no one knows about it. So So at least that's cool. My take on when I read published sources, meaning who wrote it, for what purpose, and not like it's not the whole complete truth and nothing but the truth. That's not how I read the stuff at all.
So then you do a concordance of the Veil to get a trade going, which is interesting. With a little take to the black one.
Yeah.
Then here comes Drawmage's Disdain, 568. Whether through an actual meeting or word of mouth, the Archmage Drawmage officially remarks his disdain for the Valley Elves and their current despotic leader, the Black One, to the Quarterslane and the Archmage Mordenkainen. Okay.
Yeah, this is cool.
No details on why, but it happens.
Yeah, there's a little footnote down there that has a little bit of detail, but not a whole lot.
Okay. That's on 11, right?
Yeah.
I went too far. There it is. What is known at several expeditions in the Vale of the Mage around this year resulted in heavy losses. Okay. Wonder if the mage himself was an attempt to garner knowledge of art of chronomatic magics. All right. Cool stuff. And maybe an artifact in play too. Neat.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh-oh. Do I see Scarlet? Oh, no. I see Scarlet Brotherhood coming.
Yep. It's in the same areas. They were scouring.
Yeah, it's a state.
You really managed to squeeze in all the Greyhawk goodies in this. This is yeah. It's like
you got to figure that everybody is gonna, like I said, wheels within wheels. Everything is interconnected.
Yeah, you gave us everyone who gets this, and I hope everyone will download it and look at it soon when it's available. It's like you presented a smorgasbord of cool stuff to pick from, so to speak, for your own campaign.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Dig through, have fun with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely will. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So the Gallat.
Yep, exactly. Smorgasbord is a Swedish word. Yep.
Which one's the Swedish word?
Smorgasbord. Yep. Smorgasbord. Yeah. That
means
yes. A table of sandwiches. Right. Yep.
So they didn't get in, and then that was it. One and done. It looks like with the Scarlet Brotherhood. Very good. All right. So the stronghold is built, and he moves into that dwarven stronghold, huh? That's his okay.
And then starts preparing another stronghold deeper in the Vale.
Valley. I'm start to all sort of values could hang out and listen. Oh my gosh, Gary, George, Julius. They still make that stuff. They still have those stores in the shops and the malls. Let's see. The Black One sends the Shadow Sages throughout the Flanders and the plains. So he finds it finds something in Mark Castle. All right. Neru. So following the defeat of the Necromancers, Neru was captured by the Valley Elves and interrogated by the First Protector until last it was discerned he was earnest in his motives. All right. He granted him clemency after a year. So he kind of flips and works with him now at that point.
Yeah.
What happens to the other ones? The whole group.
That whole group was not accepted. Nieru was actually the one of the entire group who there's a whole conflict with that whole group. I mean, if you read into them, they, much like a lot of the first and second edition pre-gen characters or whatever, there was like inter-party dissension amongst them. I used that to my advantage in writing this and saying, okay, well, this guy right here seems to have the most, I'm trying to think of the term. He's the most earnest in the way that he actually presents himself.
Okay.
Promise Reynolds and some of the others, I had them actually escape from the Vale. I didn't kill them off per se. I have an adventure that I'm working on that I'd love to get some way to get it published that has them coming back and actually has the adventure delving into the Vale of the Mage to where the party actually meets the Black One and has to pass through the passes through the Shadow Gate.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And are you gonna put that in as an addendum to this book at some point? I'm looking for something weird going on.
I was thinking about writing. I'd have to do a lot of filing off of serial numbers, and I do mean a lot.
Yeah, we all have to.
But if I file off the serial numbers heavily, it would probably make a very good article to put up on DM's Guild, because it is my theory and such how Thurisdan gets released in 4th edition and becomes a god to have access in 4th edition. So when 4th edition was being written, I actually wrote that adventure up and kind of linked everything together.
That's interesting, Gary. Has anyone given any thought to the idea the true value of the Mage is a fading land?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe that's part of the deal with the gates, right? Or no?
Not with the gates themselves. The gate that the gate that he made was easier because of where it is at.
Okay.
They're easier to create. Very much why, like the elemental glade, why it failed, and why you have so many planar bleeds around that area.
Okay.
You've got the one in the dim forest. You've got the elemental glades.
That's funny.
Oh, if I was going to write an Escape from the Valley adventure, I could tell you right now, notoriety points would be coming back.
Oh boy.
Oh, they're cool. Yeah.
Well, that makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For that.
Well, that's how I think. So I'm usually planning contingencies ahead of time. It's like, and so if then, there you go. Here it comes.
So then the wars come. And let's see here. You talk about the giants in this, but so the giants made their way into the valley. All right, and it sounds like they were thwarted by the. So basically, it's a little footnote in the Against the Giants series.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and then here comes Demetrius Spartacus, which is in the Greyhawk Adventures as well.
Mm-hmm.
Demented, and he died, and then had that the undulation of souls, an artifact that allows its wearer to preserve and possess the bodies of recently deceased corpses, kind of like that. That kind of like the hidden, right? Something like that.
Similar.
It's
there's that link that you were looking for, Anna.
Yeah.
Your flan artifact.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There's one right there.
Undulation of souls.
Yep. Fits into my idea.
So
awesome.
He gets his butt kicked in, and he's gone forever. All right.
Yeah.
That's 586. All right, and here's your permanent gate to the Shadow Plane to become a shade. Parts for his new stronghold in the Shadow Plane, leaving protection of the valley to near Darkspring. He's become a shade, so he could he got Eric Monad here, and then several expeditions set by Rowdy and Mordenkainen to attempt to enter the Vale of the Mage to discern the magical nature and stability of the nation. Both groups meet with heavy casualties, but discover Vale is now under the apparent rule of exiled Bislight Necromancer near Darkspring. So that's interesting. Huh.
Yep. And Niero is,
what you said,
he's a figurehead.
Rowdy and Mordenkainen, which they're probably doing it separately because Rowdy has done the trader part at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Huh. Well, that's a very cool timeline. So you get up to 591, which is Living Greyhawk era. So this is pre-Living Greyhawk. And then here it is. Vale of the Mage falls in the temperate climate zone. During the summer, the temperature barely reaches over 80 degrees. Man, that sounds nice. But in winter...
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Woohoo! Very cool. What are you linking there? What are you linking there, Patrick? Modern English, I'm out with you. You can't. That's one of my favorite songs. That's from like 1981, 2 or 3, if I get. I'll stop the world and melt with you. I better not sing. You guys will get all weird.
Too late.
Too late. Memories, yeah. I'll start singing Aha next. All right, so you got some geography in here, the ecology. What is fleshed out here? Is this a lot of this from the same as in the book, or you're in touch here?
I kind of cleaned up
trees.
I cleaned it up to where the environment wasn't subtropical anymore.
Okay.
To where it, you've got more deciduous and coniferous trees.
Yep.
Which, especially towards your mountain ranges, Anna's going to be shaking her head yes on this one heavily.
Oh yeah.
More of the coniferous trees around your mountain ranges, because it gets colder as the elevation goes up.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So you've got a good variable amount of things. Those trees are also provide a very heavy amount of cover.
These, all right. So the Adani, where do they come from? Are they from you, or are they from?
Adani trees are actually from, I believe they are from either that module.
Okay. Okay.
But I just changed them from being a subtropical tree to a temperate, because they're not really mentioned anyplace else outside of the Vale of the Mage that I found. So I'm like, okay, they exist, but they're not the type that you thought.
Yeah, that I think that's great.
Rick, for a second there, I thought you were going to put kumquat trees in here, and I have to say no. Let's go out. But I'm just kidding.
Just so I'd make you say it out loud.
There's plenty of those in the county you look. All right, so just looking through. Dragon. One dragon is known to inhabit land. A very old male green named Toxagaran. I don't know if I said that right.
Toxagaran. You actually got it right on the first try.
Right.
I create all my own dragon names.
Okay.
So
he gets something special once each year added to his horde. His mate Young died many years ago when the gates of the Barrier Peaks invaded. So the Vegapygmies came from the ship there, Gary. No, I'm just kidding. It was giants, obviously, right? He has 2 iron golems. Nice. Guardians there. Oh, Cube of Frost Resistance, a very powerful item. Amulet, another. Wow. Got some very powerful items there.
Well, you've got an Archmage in your backyard.
Yeah. Okay. And you got to deal with him. Vegapygmies. Yeah, they're awesome, man. They're like, there's a ton of them in that crashed spaceship. Illithid Enclave once existed near the Vale, though this rumor has not been confirmed. So what's your connection there? What's your hook?
Underdark.
Okay.
Underdark, because you would have Underdark areas through that area.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, Malden and his old Underdark map that he did of the Flanius had a link like right in the mountain ranges, right outside of the area, and I'm like, right there.
Okay.
So
cool. Alrighty, and you got your resources here. So how many dwarves? I saw the population totals. How many dwarves are in here? Vale of the Mage is at 10,000. I guess
I have to scroll back up and look.
Other 5%. So in that small other realm. All right.
I would say there's definitely more in the Barrier Peaks and Crystal Mist area. They're just, they come down from the hills, from the mountains.
Okay.
But they're not much in the actual valley itself.
Okay. Here it is, dwarves of the Barrier Peaks. While other dwarves agree with the Black One, they cannot fault his character or his methods. They were spared the shame of the defeat by giants that invaded surrounding countries, so they honor their alliance. All right.
Dwarves are loyal to a fault.
So this is the Exalted Citadel of Shadow. So this is on the plane of Shadow. This is the other.
That is the other one.
Okay.
That is the one that is eventually built. That is the one that has the Shadow Gate within it.
Okay.
I cherry-picked that artwork piece, by the way.
Sometimes that's what you got to do, man.
I sent a message to the artist and asked him if I could use it. He's like, "Are you getting paid for it?" I said, "Nope." He said, "Yep, have at it."
Very cool.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yep. No pay there. All right. You got the tree people. You got the gnomes. So, why do you think originally we had to throw humans in there? Into the I've always wondered this. Did I have
humans? I think of it in such a way that humans always find a way into just about any type of environment or someplace. In a lot of cases, some humans, just like the black one, are just trying to get away from something. How many of them were escaping from Jeff years ago? How many of them were trying to leave outside other areas? You might even have a couple from the old dim forest area or outside of the dim forest area that just did not want to be in the forest. The Vale of the Mage is
why would
a unique area.
Why would the Valley Elves let them in?
If they have something to provide, the Valley Elves would let them in.
Okay.
Especially if they don't see them as a threat.
All right.
If you had a group of armed, adventurers or an army at your doorway, you would say, yeah, no. But the elves are always looking towards, especially the elves and the gnomes, I would have to take that back, are always looking towards learning something new, new types of armor. You've got to realize that armor at that point was actually being revolutionized, going from your basic leathers and in some cases into plate mails.
Here's Dwarf Reach Citadel. I went through, I skipped by Little Geoff, Little Bissell. I see you kind of changed that a little bit. The Waylands.
Yeah, that's good. You move away from it slowly.
Yeah.
Yes, if you noticed, I gave them their own.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Their own names. So just kind of like, okay, what names make sense? But the published source is still there, so if they wanted to use it, they could.
Yeah, but I also have the tradition of kind of having humans everywhere. It's part of Greyhawk tradition. Humans are it's human centric. Humans are and also it's written through the human, meaning we have very little elven or dwarven or and gnomish and halfling never, so to speak. So all the published works and stuff are written and seen through the eyes of humans. That's how I see it. And originally that was written. It was a human dominated continent, and everything else is kind of there as to spice things up a bit. But it's if you look at published, but I want to have the demi-humans and stuff have a much bigger role to play. But if you look at it from Rossi's perspective or from the Great Kingdom and their historians, of course, they are just fringes, so to speak. So
yeah. And if you look in here, like the way that I look at it, like these little hamlets and stuff like that, like a little Wayland, little Bissell, Waylance, little Jeff. As far as the way that I look at it is most of these populations are probably people that just left Jeff or left Bissell just because, things got bad. How many in European cultures, you would know this more than I would, even Anna, people would move from one place to another to escape conflict.
Sure. Yeah. Look at European history over a thousand. Like just look right now. I mean, you have 5, 6, 7 million people doing it right now.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I was looking at when I was writing that. I'm like, where are you going to go? Wherever it's safe. Okay,
and
well.
Same North America. Look at it now. Meaning we have hundreds of thousands per month going from Southern and Central America going north to seek better prospects and better future.
Wow. I just opened mine up and the screen fell out with all the characters we played in this.
Oh, cool.
Holy jeez.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Tim's character Fang, his barbarian, was actually in this. Wow. Neat. Oh, there was a Winchester on here too. All right, makes sense. Yeah, just keep that hidden there. Look at that again, another 20 years. All right, so I see Tizzle Sand was up to 15th level here.
Yep.
And he gained another level to 20th. All right.
Actually, he's listed in the Living Greyhawk Gazetteer as 20th, if I'm correct.
Okay. Excellent. Got his background information here, a little more detailed. So,
and as you're scrolling through there, I'm trying to see if I can talk to certain artists to get a bit of art for every one of the characters, and have a one-page splash for every major personage of the Vale.
Cool. Nice.
And and obviously Geron Carmé is going to be multiple, but have like I was thinking about having because we don't have them yet, a 5th level stat block just for those characters, just for people who like to run them.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already got the ones for 3rd edition up on my page. So it made sense just to put something up there for people who'd like to take it into 5th.
I see this. He's proclaimed the Mage of the Great Kingdom. Because it doesn't say that anywhere but here, right? This is the first time that's noted?
Yeah, this is his history. Yep.
Okay. It looks like he's released from prison by his cousin, so he didn't escape.
No, he did not escape. He was let free and exiled.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That is canon. He was exiled.
Okay. Neat. Here's Intrigues and Whispers, Gary.
Yep.
So we do have that. I know Gary was like, oh, no problem, Cynican, you're good. So here's Discerning Nature of the Glades of Alana, Border Patrol, Return to Terror. So that's some necromancers, right?
Mm-hmm. Right there, it even says, even though they suffered the loss of Promise Reynolds and Red Morgan,
right.
Tracy Winstrider and Ellock are actually still alive.
Okay. And they don't like their former.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like I said, wheels within wheels, even more so. Right there, you've got a little hook.
Yeah. Plus, you can bring out new henchmen and stuff there too.
Yeah. Exactly. So you take the old and you move on with it.
Yeah.
So
never let a baddie go to waste. Shadow Planar Gate, Galabdur Pass, the Quarrid Kingdom. Oh, that's interesting. Strange bridge crossing the river connects the lands to 2 Quarrid clans, the Exalted and the Exalted. These 2 clans have long been competitive rivals. Yep. How many times in my campaign have I used Quarrids? Probably once in like 40 years.
They're cool.
They're cool. I just have never used them. Really, that I remember. That's cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're pure Caddic neutral, if I recall correctly, right? They're kind of like almost like Caddic Satyr types.
Yes, they're like a Fey type.
Very cool. And here you go on the Glades. You got the air, earth, fire, and water Glades. That's neat. So depending on which one you're in, there's different effects.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's investigating Dwarf Reach Citadel. Another idea. That would be high level.
Oh yeah.
Mystery of the Shadow Sages. This is all new.
Uh-huh. This is all something. This is actually the Shadow Sages is this article, I believe I started independently and put it up on Cannon Fire years ago. And when I was putting Veil of the Mage together, I'm like, I need to put this in here.
So I have a Greyhawk Shadow Mage class too, by the way. Just letting you know. We melded together with all different sorts of abilities and spells. So that's awesome. I'm scanning through this real quick here. Formed in 440s. All right. And he formed them, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. Shadow Sages are also in the Oath Journal 18 version.
Oath Journal 18.
Yep.
Okay. Bandit Kingdoms, former Horn Society, Fear Ending, Keelan. So they're out there. They're out there checking things out all over the place.
Yep. That's his own little spy network.
Okay. So, very, very cool. Welcome, God Mode. I think it's the first time you've ever raided in here. I really appreciate that. Good to see you. We're doing some in-depth Greyhawk discussion on the Veil of the Mage. If you know anything about the Greyhawk setting, please feel free to also sign up for the 2 giveaways. We have some great books we're giving away today. And thank you very much for you and your crew coming in. Yep, appreciate it. Yeah, please stick around. Giveaways will be in about 20 minutes. All right, so how many are there? Or is that left to nebulousness?
I leave that completely open to how people would perceive that themselves.
Okay.
But there are 5 tiers. If you scroll down, you'll see that there's 5 tiers of them. The Exalted Court, which is Sharon Crimea himself.
There we go.
The Inner Citadel, Tasiln-San, and Nero Darkspring. Outer Citadel, which is the Shadow Folk of the Plains. Sindar Syrian, Jakar, and the Druids of the Vale.
Okay.
So you've got some outer groups here. The inner ring is the Valley Elves and other outcast races of the Vale, including the Tree People. So that thing I was mentioning before of this is kind of like, a conglomeration of outcasts has become very true in this statement right there.
So with this level, if you're talking rings, it's got to be at least 50.
At least, because you've got to consider that a lot of the Valley Elves are automatically members.
Oh, cool, Josh! Thank you for telling me that. I didn't know that. Thank you. For God Mode is one of the guys working on Spelljammer Con. That's great to know. Thank you so very much, Josh, for letting me know that. Very cool. I'll follow you guys. Awesome. Very cool. There. I just followed you. Check you out. All right. Love this. Love it. All right. So here's Sindar. We got him. Operatives outside the Veil. So, what organizations they butt heads with outside? I'm assuming Scarlet Brotherhood. They come across them. It looks
God, Scarlet Brotherhood is one of the big ones they run into. IU's not a fan. They obviously butt heads with certain members of the Circle of 8, Mage.
Okay. What about the Seekers in Kaelan?
The Seekers probably a little bit.
Okay.
But the Seekers are probably more interested in them than anything else. The Seekers are probably like, okay, these guys are interesting.
Bone Shadow. Shadow Claw, Bone Shadow. Okay.
Yeah. And any Mordenkainen, they will butt heads probably with him and his spy network as well. But sometimes they probably would give each other a go and be like, yeah, but just stay out of my yard type of deal.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, pretty much. Mordenkainen's out there waving a stick at him to get off his lawn.
And now a cool thing. Magic items.
Yep.
And he doesn't see. Rick is genius. He doesn't put down magic items. He puts Exalted Dwarmercraft down. That's awesome. I love that. Which is
actually is actually a term that is actually used for Sharon Crimea. That's what he named one of his spell books. Is that?
I love it. All right. So that gives you dark vision. Very cool. Tome of Recording.
Yep.
All right. There you go. It's almost like a...
Yeah. So some of this is going to be redundant because, like I said, I'm still in the matter of editing this. You can see it up above and below. So,
Time Glass of the Mage. I've seen something like this, but not on this... Yeah. Where?
You have. Greyhawk hardback.
Okay. I was wondering. Yeah.
Exactly
all right. Okay. It came to me that Intensity, Potions of Intensity. That's cool. Exalted Spell Component Case. That's another one, right?
Yeah. Yep. And those are actually, all of these are converted from first and second edition, and these ones are set in 5th edition right here. Because my previous editions in Earth Journal were 3rd edition.
3rd, so these are 5th. Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Like I said, still working on editing some of them because they definitely need some cleaning.
Right. This is brilliant and wonderful, and you've done a great job with it. I mean, and then we get some descriptions on the Valley Elves, how they're taller, sharpened features, neat.
Yep.
While some revere Alana, who is a local human elven deity, many of the Valley Elves do not worship any gods aside from the neutral gods. Or is it they don't worship any of the ancient Flan gods either? It's
more of a thing of, because they're exiles, a lot of the good gods don't want anything to do with them because they refuse to take sides before. So the Valley Elves are just, okay, fine, whatever. You don't want us, then we don't want you either.
Okay.
Evil deities just take advantage of them, and they're not about that at all.
Here comes the campaign question. Because
Mm-hmm.
in Unearthed Arcana back in 1st edition, you were would you ever allow a PC Valley Elf in your game outside of the Vale?
Yep, I have one.
Okay.
I had a friend who was in my Age of Worms game. He was playing a Valley Elf.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he passed away 2 years ago, and we just finished the campaign. So his character, the Valley Elf wizard, made it to 20th level and defeated Caius.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
So I'll probably be featuring him in something at some point.
And Ode to that's great.
Yeah, I do that for a lot of my players who've stuck around for a long time. It's like, if especially if any of them pass away, I try to do something where I include them. So
they don't live as long as Grey Elves, but then again, I mean, how long do elves live, right? They seem to live the same age as Dark Elves, which is under 1,000 years, right? Roughly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And yep, 5 to over 6 feet tall, slender built. Not as tall as Chalkian elves, but very tall for Greyhawk elves. Yep.
Oh yes.
So also size normals from fair.
What makes an elf turn neutral? In the case of Valley Elves, what makes them turn neutral is that they did not take sides in a major conflict. And in which case, the good gods were pretty incensed at them, and they ceased giving their clerics their spell slots. They just turned their back on them, just the same way that they turned their back on their elven allies.
Okay. I always was worried about. I don't know if you have used them at all. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't want to be. I want to have to go there, and every place we went, go, why are you so tall as an elf? I want to have to go through that in every adventure. So but that's interesting. So thanks, Patrick, for doing that.
Well, Solarishad, who was my friend's character, which is actually an anagram for his nickname and his first name. His nickname in college was Slacker. We always called him the Slacker. And his first name was Chad. So it's an anagram for Slacker Chad.
Okay.
So we came up with Solarishad as his name. Solarishad would say all kinds of sarcastic comments. If you were to ask him, why are you so tall for an elf? He would just look at you and be like, ask your mother. Yeah, he was just a smart ass through and through.
What other little tidbits did we miss?
Well, we haven't gotten to the Greyhawk NPC guide.
We have not. So we can. I was as far as we're going to bolt through this because I don't want to. and we can always save it too. I have two of them. I have Duicarthan, and I have this one. Okay, here we go. It's the same. Yeah.
The Duicarthan is the first version of that.
Right.
That is the from 2005. What you're loading up right now, and everybody's looking at right there on the screen. That's the new copy that I'm working on.
Yep. So this is major personages of the Flannis. That's great artwork.
Yeah.
I love that artwork. I sent a message to the artist and asked him if I could use it. He's like, "Yeah, sure, as long as you give me credit for it."
So here we go. It's by region, major just noted, right? Got them all noted down. So if you want to, go to, you pick a region. So let's go to all. Here, we'll pretend Mike's here.
I was gonna say there's not much that's all there.
Hero deities.
You'll probably skip it.
That's okay.
There you go. I found it. Page 19.
All right. There you go. Bardillingham, which is retconned, right? Which is really, which is mic'd in, which is great.
Yeah.
Demetrius begun a miracle. So I don't know about that. A miracle to chaotic. Who made that call?
Actually, I came up with that because a miracle is always looking for some place to hide out. This would be his hideout.
So he followed Bardillingham to.
Yeah. He's looking for a hideout, looking for some place in between what shenanigans that he's managed to get himself into.
Gary's trying to provoke me. It's not happening.
Payback.
It's good. It's good to hear you're going to be back soon, man. Paul, that's good. Okay. A Miracle of Chaotic. Interesting. I just was scrolling through it. So this has got a lot of PCs in it. Noted. I'm assuming you're going through different adventures, different publications.
Pulling a lot of stuff out.
How about from the Zavoda Index too?
Yes, actually, I've been using the Zavoda Index and going back over from my old files in 2005 and going, okay, I didn't have that. Okay, this wasn't released yet. Like Age of Worms wasn't even out yet when I first did it. So I have to add all that in, a whole bunch of the stuff from Dungeon and Dragon magazine. There's a lot of stuff I'm still adding in. I think when I first did it, the only thing that had come out was adventure-wise was we were up to Mauer Castle.
Okay. Well, it's cool. I mean, if you want to get a listing of a lot of different characters, especially if you're adventuring in that area. And I saw I'm going to be a semi dick here. Not in a bad way. Well, maybe. Oh my gosh, look at this. Arelhai Sinlu, all the name ones in D3. Whew. I saw Powers, Groups, and Legends. All right, here we go. I think you were going to agree or not here. I saw Karastein's Castle listed here, right? Right.
Oh, that would be up. That is actually down below in Greyhawk area.
I'm right here.
Yep.
But the geniuses of Living Greyhawk killed everyone in Karastein's Castle. So I don't use that in Living Greyhawk. This is all. This is all. What era is this? When the module is published, when the source is published, like Free City Greyhawk box set, Greyhawk from the Ashes, she's listed in. Is that what? And then
591.
It's as of 591, so it's pre-Living Greyhawk. Okay.
Yep. Who killed
Karstein?
Exactly. What was the story?
Rary.
Rary.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
I was going to say it must have been Rary because he's the evil bastard.
It's not canon. All right. Gary. I just want to make sure. So
and also, the lady right there. She is mentioned in Age of Worms as still being alive, which is
Okay, so then that means that I should then I don't ruin the castle or Karstein. I put them back because I just ruined the castle today in my 598 map, but I'm going to put it back again.
So the reason I ask this is if we want to say what we considered canon, this, okay,
yeah,
then Paizo Hawk Publications. What about Living Greyhawk Journals?
Living Greyhawk Journals,
Gary.
But Gary is correct in the fact that Dungeon Dragon,
not the journals, and the journals. Okay.
Living Greyhawk Journals, but not the
actual adventures, and not the
regionals. Yeah,
not the regionals. Okay. Okay. I'm asking for a purpose.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
None of the regionals.
All right. Because a lot of places got.
Yeah, Gary is 100% correct there.
Okay.
Not the inaccessible LG mods.
Okay. Excellent. I know, BB. What I'm asking this for is just to figure out a basis. I wanted to know what this as of, what date this was as of, so that you can put that in your mind, because you may want to go and you may want to say and go back and go, well, I'm playing 576 and this is 591, so I may need to pull back someone a few levels because they're adventuring or whatever. That's what I'm saying.
Most of this is still in because I did not change things from my 3rd edition version. So you'll see classes and stuff like that from 3rd edition.
Right.
But there will be a 5th edition version. My whole point is first get everything and get all the NPCs down.
Right.
And then go back and edit.
Okay.
So go back from what I had before, get it all out there, and then go back and I can 5e them thereafter.
So I'm thinking out loud here. I'm running into a problem in my publication that I'm statting up almost all the people I'm putting in there, and it's taking up a lot of space. But I don't know if that's a bad thing or not. But then in a publication, I don't know if this is great for a compilation.
Yeah,
people aren't paying for it. Right.
Yeah, this is just a research tool right here.
Yeah,
this is something that people can just come over and go, whoa, look. Where's this person at? Where are they from? What levels were they approximately? Okay, well, I'm not using 3rd edition, so I need to make some tweaks.
Yeah.
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 You have a template to go from.
Okay.
But you don't have. And for the thing for yours, unless you have to fight them, Jay, unless you have to fight them in your adventure or whatever you're writing, you don't need a stat block. Don't bother. Make the DM do the work.
Yeah, but
that way they can tweak them their own.
I like your idea, but that's not the style that CNC does things. They like to have something in the stat. They like to have something. So if it's something we got to talk about and consider. We got a meeting Friday, by the way, if that's all right. So look, Chaserin's listed in here too. That's cool. He was 12th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very cool. MILF. Oh, this is 3rd edition. I was like, Elder's Night. This is neat. I mean, it's a great resource. Where can people get this? They're gonna have it. Is it on your site yet? Or
the old version is up on my old site still.
Okay.
That is actually World of Greyhawk NPC Encyclopedia Volume 1 and 2 off of my website. This new version will be going up probably sometime this week. I'm actually talking to Elric on Discord, and we're working it out to get my page updated past. If you look at my page,
awesome.
I mean, most of you are going to be like, dear God, when was this made? The answer to that is a long time ago.
But that's all right, man.
So I'm working on the updates. It's just, between real life stuff and everything else, I got to find the time to get it done.
Some great information. Fantastic. So I hope you all got. I mean, this is fantastic. What do you think, Anna?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I think it's so cool. This is so inspiring, and I will devour this, and I will follow the rule that I kind of give to everybody else. Cherry pick the things that you like for your game, and then alter some of the things that you are inspired by, but it might not fit your campaign exactly as written, so to speak. And just like the way you should take all the content that I do, meaning cherry pick the things you like, tweak the things that you think could be better for you, and skip the rest, so to speak. That's the method. And for me, this will be dynamite. So much cool stuff here, and I already got ideas for 2 campaigns in Vale of the Mage from this discussion. So I will send a party up against the Dark One or the Valley Elves, or some combination of it, or scout out, or something fun with the Vale in an Elven campaign coming up. That's for sure. Yeah,
that's awesome. So let me do some quickie shout outs, and then we'll do the giveaways. I'm gonna pass out. I literally, I'm like, but so Rick, what else is going on, man? What else? And thank you for coming on. This was awesome.
Yeah, well, this is great.
Thank you. I'm working on, like I said, trying to get the webpage done, so that all these files will start going up. Some of these files, like the one that you have got there, the NPC encyclopedia. My plan for that one is I've already got it in InDesign. I'm working on it.
Nice.
I'm making it, trying to fit everything in. I just got everything in from the city of Greyhawk. So my next thing is I'm trying to get all the stuff from the modules, but I think I'm just going to stick with what I've got right here, and then put these up, and then add the module information later at the end. Like, like the last chapter would be like, okay, this is from Dragon magazines and modules, but I'm going to have to look for overlaps. Secondary is I'm going to have the Vale of Mage, which should be going up soon. I'm still just waiting on a couple of the artists to give me the yes that I can use their artwork in it. And then when I do that, I can start putting the splat pages up for all of the NPCs, and then put 5th edition stat blocks up for each and every one of the major NPCs.
Nice.
That are already listed. So those will be up. Those will be up on my webpage here as soon as I get the webpage going. I'll probably make an announcement one way or the other, either via Cannon Fire, Discord, a couple other different places, and then just kind of go from there.
Very, very cool.
But yeah, that's most of my projects, amongst other things, including the one that Gary's mentioning there of going back and doing Company of 7 again. I'm also trying to, I've got a Thuristan adventure that I was telling you about earlier, where they go actually into the Vale of the Mage.
Cool.
So I've got to find a publisher for that, see if DM's Guild will take it. And I've got a lot of filing off of serial numbers to do to make that fit, but I think I can make it fit, and then just create a conversion document that says the Dark God equals Thuristan in Greyhawk. Okay, there you go. Start, so just start adding each and every one of them through there for everyone, so they can, they can actually play it in Greyhawk. But the adventure is pretty interesting. I pulled from a lot of different sources to make the adventure, and at some point, I should get it published.
Gary says that I should do Valley of the Mage at 1 inch. I think porta potty scale 5 feet is probably good enough. Yeah, that's good enough, so we can see individual trees at least. So, I'm really that and the Rift Canyon are 2 places I really want to map, because they're now I'm starting to have the technology and the skill and the know-how how to do it. So I will get there. Yep.
The trees would probably be very heavy near the border.
Yep.
Very heavy near your rivers.
Yep.
That whole area is probably just very populated with trees.
Yeah, we should probably invent some. Meaning, you took one of the trees, but there should probably be. I'm looking at some of the wonderful art in your PDF, and I'm thinking I want to invent a few other tree species and add in that are kind of fey-like. I'm thinking Feywild trees that have come over, or shadow trees, or something like that are kind of dark Fey trees and stuff. So I'm thinking
fire trees, like around the elemental glade.
Tree, and so not the only thing, so to speak. There should be more cool things in the plant menagerie of stuff, so to speak. So that's another one that I want to do.
Santa, what's going on?
Oh, and there's a lot of things going on. I had 2 live streams on Twitch last week. One on Wednesday, that was the kind of the inaugural, but just kind of finding my way around and make sure it worked. And then on Friday, Alyssa Faden reached out to me like an hour before, or half an hour or something. So we kind of mashed together a dual live stream where we both work together. So on Friday, I will do a live stream. It's not confirmed if Alyssa Faden can make it or not, but it's a probable. So hopefully both of us can do a live stream, or at least I will on Friday. So I'm basically claiming the same time, like 5 o'clock my time Pacific, or 8 o'clock Eastern, that we do for fantasy mapping show. So there will be a mapping live stream when we just sit and work. And then once a month, there will be the official, more kind of planned and cooler fantasy mapping show once a month. So that will come on on Friday. Will be a mapping live stream on my Twitch channel. So that is coming in. Also, I'm working on the 598 map, and I got a couple of new places on today, but then on this show, that I'm going to add to the map. So thank you, Rick, for that. That was awesome, that I forgot about. And normally, like every project I do, it's a rabbit hole. So I've added a whole bunch of heraldry and stuff that have been, because I realized now that the 98 map was age old, so to speak. So there's going to be a ton more heraldry, probably about 30 more or something. So and I also want to, there's a couple of holes in the Grey Kingdom area, like the North Kingdom and Kingdom of United Kingdom of Alyssa heraldry. So I want to try and fill those gaps. So I'm working on filling those holes when it comes to heraldry. And then there's more cool heraldry. There's some Flan heraldry coming, and there's Death Knight heraldry, but the Death Knight heraldry I need to work on. So maybe that will be something for Friday, and then I can have to kind of take that to Gary, and he will have a show. So I'll probably hide it before I work on it and give Gary the final say on that, so to speak. And then there will be hang on a second, there is more stuff that I forgot. Oh, I have to thank everybody, because I have the record number of patrons. So thank you so much for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm having an influx of patrons. So thank you so much for that. I'm working really hard to get new cool stuff out, so to speak. But right now I have the 598 map. I just need to get that down. So that will be the big thing for the next like 6 to 8 weeks or something like that. Then I can put it out there. But so because I want to make sure that I get it filled up with heraldry, and I have to go over the 576 map and go through the list of changes, and that will take me 2 weeks just to do all the same changes and forward convert them, so to speak. That's what I'm working on right now. And then I find out all the stuff that I need to add, like heraldry and missing things, and I need to tweak the terrain map once again to bring in all the changes and stuff. So it will probably take me like 6 weeks or so, but there will be a preview coming out probably half that time in like 3 weeks or so for my patrons, and so you can kind of take a look at it and criticize my work and tell me all the stuff that I'm missing and stuff. And then there will be like a final round of things to put together. And then there's the Altamira project. There's my Shieldlands campaign updates and stuff. And now I have a whole bunch of ideas for Elven campaigns. So I think my patrons next year will get a whole bunch of Elven lore and stuff that I will start putting in. So you have to live with me. This year will be full of things about Shieldlands. I had my 32nd, I think it was 32nd or 33rd session on my Shieldlands campaign, and I had a dream sequence. The players weren't aware of it. The last 3 sessions were a dream sequence. They didn't know about it. They were in a dream of Dragotha, and she was trying to scare the bejesus out of them. And it kind of worked. It was awesome fun. But one of the key players, that had the dream, he rolled a critical. He rolled a natural 20 on an insight check. That's when he found out that he was in the dream of Dragotha, and she was trying to scare the bejesus out of him. And that's when he found out, and that meant that he woke up, and Dragotha never got a chance to kill the party in the dream, so to speak. But she was close. He was like 3 rounds from doing it, and so that was fabulous. That was probably the best session we've had in this campaign so far. It was a super cool, super fun, and they started to realize something is really screwy. And I kind of made things worse, and it was one step after the other, and they realized something is wrong, and when they rolled really high on an insight check. So remember, don't try to stress the story. Bring it out over several sessions, and that was kind of fun. It was a missed save that led to a diversion that stretched over 3 sessions.
Awesome.
So that was kind of fun. Yep. No, my Dragotha is female. My really bitchy dragons are female. So yeah.
Which is not a bad thing. All right.
It's like the hags. Yep.
So tomorrow, this is what's going on the rest of the week. 3 more streams still. Tomorrow night, I got a mixed group because 2 of my guys weren't showing up. Now one of them can, but I have Bones, Darling, and Mike Disney joining the first year like Pathfinders and Retributive Strike. It's going to be interesting because there's a lot of relationships going on. I think it's going to be a fun game. That's tomorrow night at 7:30. One-shotter. So you may have seen some of the training on post. That is up. That is tomorrow. Saturday morning. The ever mysterious Tim is DMing his Rovers of the Baron game. I know there's a lot of you watching or playing in it. Session 6, Danger on the Edge, 9 a.m. So I get, there'll be some mix. You'll see. There'll be some mix. There'll be 2 Slav Squad members in that game on tomorrow night, and Mike will have Narax, his Dwarven fighter. So there'll be some mixing of groups. And that is Saturday. And then Sunday, Carlos joins us. We go to our deep dive continues to my Wall of Fame, Tharsden and Shokanth. Tomorrow, Sunday night, that'll be a deep dive. We continue those, but the week after's deep dive, Joe Block joins us as we do GDQ the week after.
Ooh,
okay,
awesome.
So we got a lot of great. After that, I'm jumping into the big things now. I have a new recruits game on a Saturday night special. Lady Lavinius, the Magic the Gathering streamer partner, first time she's ever playing with some of the group, the new recruits. That'll be on what's that? The 16th. 2 weeks after that, Saturday, July 30th, Ed Greenwood, and 2 drink minimum with voice actor. And if you ever he's done a lot of them. If you played Mass Effect, you know this guy, Mark Meir. And he also did voiceovers on the original Baldur's Gates, so he's been around a while. And Tony and Eric, Anna, and Eric Menke hasn't confirmed, so I may be adding another guest if Eric can't make it for the 2 drink minimum game. More importantly, 1 hour and hopefully I stay awake. 1 hour and 54 minutes. I flip on sign up for registration for Virtual Greyhawk. Okay, right now Josh and I are in there, and that's it. DM submissions you can put in. I put my events in, and I threw yours in there, even though we don't know the time slot yet. But I got them in there. So there's four events in there. Ron, there you go. For Greyhawk Reborn is going to put in events. We got a lot of stuff coming in. So get your events in, with your time slots that you want. That's first come, first serve, except for, I'll be setting up the stream schedule. I'm talking non-streamed here. Please get your events in. And I also have limited merchandise. I threw in some of these shirts in there. So if you want any of them, they're in, but getting some stuff going. What the heck is that, Josh? That's a Gary Con. I didn't even know they had that. So
it's like a beholder.
Yeah, it is some kind of beholder. So
cute little beholders.
Yeah, Greyhawk Con is the first week in October, Event sign up won't be till like August 1st, but we got to get the events in first so that people can sign up for them. We usually have around 65 events, games people can play on, and I'm just really looking forward to it. So I will open it up, and if I'm about to pass out and it's 11:45, I'll just open it up then. It won't matter. It's not like you're gonna miss anything by signing up. Yeah, that is awesome, Gary. Iron Gate City of Stairs one shot for Virtual GreyHawk. That will fill up fast. Please note, all live streams will have at least, I've asked for at least one, but I want 2 open signups so that people can play in live stream events. My Grand Joust of Altamira main event will have 6 open signups. So note that that's coming. Hey, that would be great, Rob, whatever. Good. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you on your comment in direct. That's awesome. So I'm really excited. Everyone's excited about it. I know Les is putting in games. I know a lot of other people are putting in some stuff. I'm trying to make sure Alan Gurley puts in some games too. So, and then we'll have our Ask the Experts. Joe Block said he would. Joe Block and Malden both said they would come back for it. So, and then we'll see if I can get it. I'm trying to get Eric's so busy. I'm hoping to get Eric back. We'll see. So that's it. Let's do the giveaways. Let's call. I'll give you 10 seconds. And like I said, I owe 2 of you still codes from Sunday night because my Troller Games aficionado sponsor is still not giving them to me. So I'm a little perturbed, Chuck, but I will, we'll get there. All right. First winner, you get your choice of either the Adventure Begins with Treasures and then the Veil of the Mage. All right. If you have it already, we'll sub it out, but I don't think that many people have it. Right? Here we go. Let's close this out. Then we're gonna raid the Troller. I think Chuck is DMing right now. We're raiding the Troller games. Here we go. It's a casualty. Are you on to claim it's a casualty? BB, I think you're in already, man. I already closed it, but I think I'm almost positive you're in. It's a casualty. He's on.
Yeah, he's on.
All right. So your pick. Do you have the base? Do you have the base? Greyhawk Adventure Begins. It's a great by Roger Moore.
One. Yeah, I would pick that one.
That and Veil the Mage. All right, there you go. I think I have your address. If I don't, I'll whisper you. Second winner. Veil the Mage is awesome. For reference, not the adventure. Fixer Creosote. Wow, that is a name I do not know. Or should I? You're on. That's great. I see you in chat, in the chat listing. All I need to do is for you to claim it, and then I'm going to. You got it, Fixer. Treasures of Greyhawk. Do you have us Against the Cold of the Reptile God? It's a great adventure and 1. How's that sound? Treasures of Greyhawk is, and just let me go with that if you're good. All right, Fixer. I'll need your address. I know I don't have your address. If I do, okay. Just please whisper me your full name and address, and I'll get them both out tomorrow. So I'm actually working in my home office tomorrow because I've done enough travel for the week. So, Rick, thanks a lot for a wonderful, wonderful Legends of Lore tonight.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Yeah. We have no topic for next week's Legends of Lore. Mike will be back. We'll have one. Just trust me.
Well, otherwise you know what we talked about before we went on. So
it's about all.
Exactly. We haven't had an all showing forever. So
we'll see if Mike wants to do that. That may be a good idea.
I'll be forced him to. Yep,
Thank you all. Stick on if you can. We're going to raid in the Troller games right now, and we'll go from there. And I hope you all have a great night. See you tomorrow night, 7:30. It's going to be a fun. Trust me. I'm playing Fritz Winchester as an NPC, so just he's going to stir up trouble because he always does. So Fritz is going to be there, and he's going to be a butthead. So just like he normally is, stupid character. All right, so we'll see you all tomorrow night. Have a good one, and keep it going, guys. Keep the Greyhawk and sign up tonight. It's $5 plus a nominal fee, and that just covers cost. Talk to you soon. All right, raiding in the Troller. If anyone wants to bust his stone, say Chuck Ware Jay's codes. That'll make him feel good. I know that's really mean to me, isn't it?
Everybody will just post D's nuts.
Yes, D's nuts is even better. Alright. Starting it up. It's casualty. It's growing. These over here. These over here. How many we got? Nice. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you tomorrow night, 7:30. Have a good one.